Good morning, everyone! We are starting another week of virtual preschool, and I am really glad that you decided to join me for circle time today. So let's go ahead and figure out what day of the week it is. So the last day of school we had was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So today is Tuesday. Yes, so I'm going to move my little rainbow arrow up to Tuesday. There we are. And let's figure out what the month is. So who remembers the name of our month? Yes, January. So let's go ahead and count those numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, then what? 18, yes. So let's figure out our pattern. Snow person, hat, mitten. Snow person, hat. What comes next? Mitten, yes. So we have a number 18 with a mitten on it. We'll put that right in there. And we need to do one more because that was yesterday, Monday for the 4's class. 16, 17, 18. What's next? 19. And let's figure out the pattern. Snow person, hat, mitten. What's next? Snow person. Yes, so a number 19 with a snow person on it. All right, so today is Tuesday, January 19th, and the year is 2021. All right, so let's figure out the weather. So you're going to look outside your window at your house to see if it is partly cloudy, cloudy, sunny, windy, rainy, stormy, or snowy. And you'll need to kind of step out the door to see what the temperature feels like. Does it feel burning hot, hot, warm, cool, cold, or freezing cold? And remember, you can ask your mom or dad to look on their weather app to see what the temperature is to help you figure out. That can help you figure out where on the little thermometer it would be. Okay, so forgot to grab the book. We are continuing on talking about winter this week, but we're going to be talking more about what the animals do in the winter. We kind of talked about this a little bit in the fall, if you'll remember, when we talked about what the animals were doing to get ready for winter. And some people kind of already knew some of the things animals did in the winter then. So let's find out some more. So in our mystery envelope, I have a book to read. Let's see what it is. Oh, so there's a fox on the front of this book. Right? And this is called Animals in Winter. So let's find out what happens in this book. The days grow short. The nights grow long. It is getting colder. Winter is coming. Leaves have fallen from the trees. There are no berries on the bushes. Insects are gone. The grass is dead and brown. So this is showing back in the fall. Remember when it was the fall? When the leaves were falling and they were changing colors and people were picking pumpkins and apples? Birds and other animals are getting ready for winter. Some of the birds will fly south. Bluebirds and orioles go toward the south. They go where it is warm and sunny and where there is food for them to eat. When the spring comes, the birds will make the long journey back north. They migrate. So many birds migrate in the winter. Not all birds, right? Because I bet you still see some birds out right now. that some birds migrate means they fly south where it is warmer. Some butterflies migrate too. That is what the monarch butterflies do. They gather in a tree by the hundreds before cold weather comes. They stay in the tree all night. In the morning, they fly toward their winter homes in the south. So some butterflies also migrate. Many bats fly south too, but some bats stay in the north all winter. When the weather gets cold, they go to a cave. There is no wind or snow in the cave. The bats sleep there all winter. They do not eat. They live on fat stored inside them. They do not move. They hardly breathe. They sleep, sleep, sleep. They hibernate. So some animals migrate. They fly south where it's warmer. And some animals sleep all winter. They hibernate. Woodchucks hibernate too. When fall comes, a woodchuck eats and eats and eats. He eats grass, twigs, and leaves. He grows fat. When it gets cold, the woodchuck crawls into his long tunnel and goes to sleep. And look, so there's the woodchuck right there. That's the main entrance. That's a secret entrance. And look right here. This says sleeping chamber. That's where the woodchuck sleeps. This says toilet chamber. That is where the woodchuck goes to the bathroom. Isn't that funny that the woodchuck has a separate bathroom just like we do? So woodchucks also hibernate. Does he sleep for a day? Longer than that. Does he sleep for a week? Longer than that. A month? Even longer. A woodchuck can sleep as long as 4 months. See? December, January, February, March. The woodchuck seems hardly alive. He breathes very slowly. His heart beats slowly. He sleeps, sleeps, sleeps. He hibernates. Some animals do not have to hibernate. They gather food and save it for the winter. That is what a pika does. A pika looks a little like a rabbit, but with round ears. Pikas live in high mountains where winters are long and cold. They eat grass. In summer, they cut more grass than they can eat. They spread the grass on flat stones. The hot sun dries it. By the end of summer, a pika may have gathered 50 pounds of grass. She hides it under rocks. In winter, she eats the dry grass. It keeps her alive. So a pika does something called adapt. She is adapting to the winter weather. So some animals migrate, some animals hibernate, and some animals stay around and they adapt. Squirrels gather food too and save it for the winter. They dig holes in the ground. They bury hickory nuts and acorns. When winter comes, they dig them up and eat them. Sometimes squirrels forget where they buried the nuts. Trees may grow from the nuts that the squirrels forget. So squirrels also adapt. Some animals do not get ready for winter at all. They do not store food. They do not hibernate. They do not migrate. They must hunt for food all winter long. There are mice that must hunt all winter for seeds of goldenrod, asters, and other wild plants. Sometimes they eat farmers' corn, oats, and wheat. So mice also adapt. They just do it in a different way than the pika and the squirrel. Deer must dig in the snow for dried leaves, plants, and moss. When the snow is deep, they must eat the twigs, buds, and bark of trees. So deer also adapt. The rabbit must hunt under the snow for bits of grass and plants. When the snow is deep, he too eats the buds and bark of bushes so he can stay alive. So rabbits also adapt. In the winter, the fox hunts for mice and rabbits. This fox has discovered a mouse in its tunnel beneath the snow. So foxes also adapt. When the winter is cold and the snow is deep, many animals cannot find food. Here are some ways you can help animals in the winter. Make a peanut and popcorn garland. Nail a sunflower head to a post or fence. Hang suet in a plastic net bag. Stick fruit and cheese pieces on a dead branch. Nail a seed tray with drainage holes to a fence post. Make an apple, cranberry, and raisin and orange garland. Make sure feeders are placed. Put a birdhouse in a tree under the eaves of your house. That's not under the eaves of your house, that's in a tree, isn't it? Also, so you can put bird feeders out too, and make sure they're placed out of reach of predators. So a predator is anyone that might eat the birds, right? So you want to put it up high enough where they can't get them. Hang an ear of corn for squirrels and chipmunks. Plant shrubs with berries for food and shelter. Please remember, once you begin feeding birds and other wild animals in winter, you must continue. They are depending on the food you supply. So if you want to start feeding the birds and animals in the winter, you need to plan on keeping on doing it, all right? Don't just stop, because they count on you then. Eventually, the days grow longer, the nights grow shorter. It begins to get warmer. Spring is coming. All right, so that talked a lot about what animals do in the winter, didn't it? So I have a few activities to show you today. The first one is a bear, I call it a bear in a cave project, because in the winter, a lot of times when we are talking about hibernating, we also talk about bears, because bears they sort of hibernate. They are not technically hibernators, but they sleep for most of the winter, so we kind of still call them hibernators. So in your packet, you have a little baggie with cotton balls and a little picture of a bear. You have half a paper plate, and you have a piece of blue paper. So we are going to make a bear in a cave. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is do all the coloring we need to do. So I'm going to make a brown bear. So I am going to find my brown crayon. There it is. And I'm going to just color my bear brown. All right, so there is my brown bear. Now the paper plate, the half a paper plate, is going to be the bear's cave. All right, so we want to kind of make the cave look like it is underground. So I'm going to use my brown again, and I'm going to color in my cave here. Make it all, oopsie, brown. I like to kind of get a little creative with my cave, so I'm going to make mine have some black in it too for that dark black dirt. And let's see, there might be a little green from some leftover grass. I'm going to put that on there. If the grass, so here we still have a little grass that's out, right? All right, so there's my little cave. And now I am going to put some glue on the back of my cave. Now I'm using white glue this time because white glue is what's going to work the best with the cotton balls. Okay, glue stick doesn't work quite as well for them, although if you use enough it'll probably work. But I like to use white glue for bigger items that have to be glued down. All right, so I put glue all on the back of my cave. If you can see that. And I am going to stick that down on my paper. So there's my bear's cave. All right, just like that. Then I'm going to stick my bear in the cave. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of my bear. And stick that down in the cave. Kind of hiding in there, almost camouflaged, isn't it? All right, now the bear went in there, and then in the late fall, and now it started to snow because it's winter again, right? So we're gonna add some snowballs and some snow on top of our cave. So I'm going to use the cotton balls. You're gonna need lots of glue for each cotton ball. So usually when we use white glue, we like to say a drop, not a puddle. But in this case, you're going to need a puddle for each of the cotton balls if you want it to stick well. So you're going to want a puddle in this case. All right, so there is my bear in a cave with the snow on top of the cave. It looks pretty cozy in there. All right, let's see what else we have. Oh, we also have a little book to make. So this is called What Do Animals Do When It's Cold? So we're going to cut on these dotted lines to cut apart the pieces or the pages of the book. So I'm going to keep my thumb up like I always remember to do. I'm going to cut on the dotted line between each of the pages. All right, then once you have all the pages, you're going to turn them around the right way. You're going to put the cover first that has the title on it, What Do Animals Do When It Is Cold? Then you're going to find the page that has the number 1. Put that next. Page number 2. And page number 3. All right, and then you're going to have your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or whoever is helping you help you to staple your book together like a book. Okay, and then have them read it to you so you know what it says. What do animals do when it is cold? Some animals eat food they have stored. So they adapt, right? Some animals go to warm places, so they migrate. Some animals have thick fur, so they adapt. That's an adaptation too. And some animals rest. They hibernate. All right, so then you can read this book yourself. Okay, we have some cutting strips in our packet again, and these are a little different. That's why I'm showing them to you. These ones have lines that only go part way across. And that's because you're going to stop at the end of each of these lines. Okay, so you're going to hold your paper with your helper hand, get your scissors with your thumb up and your cutting hand. You're going to cut until the line ends. See? You're going to stop where the line ends. On every one, cut and stop. See? Cut and stop. All right, so you'll do that all the way across on each strip. All right. In your packet, you also have a set of sorting mats for animals that migrate, animals that hibernate, and animals that adapt. You also have a set of sorting cards, and there are a whole bunch of different animals on these cards. Some of them we read about, some of them we didn't. So the ones that we didn't read about and you don't know what they do in the winter, you could help your mom and dad to look it up to find out. All right? And once you've sorted these, you're going to sort these onto each mat. If the animals adapt, you put them here. If they migrate, you put them here. And if they hibernate, you put them here. All right? Now, when you're all done sorting them, your mom and dad are going to look at them and figure out if they're all in the right spots. And then they might tell you a little trick that I put in the email about how you can figure out which animals go where, because there's a little trick with these cards. All right? So that is what I have for you today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see some of you today at 10:30 for small group. And before I forget, don't forget to bring a teddy bear to small group today. All right? Because we're talking about animals in winter, and bears are one of the animals that sometimes we think about in the winter about what they do, right? So bring a teddy bear to small group. If you don't have a teddy bear, that's okay. You can bring another animal, another stuffed animal, all right? So I hope you have a great day. I will see you later. Bye, everyone.